What's going on, good people? Happy Tuesday. And if you can hear me and or see me, then you know it is time for the Mic Drop podcast. And for my OGs, y'all already know what to do. Put your city and state in the chat. Let me know where you are watching or listening from. If you're listening while driving, do not take your hands off that steering wheel. If you're out in this crazy weather, please be safe. But if it is safe for you to type into the chat, let me know where you are chiming in from. And for those of you who is your first time, hello. We are so glad you are with us on this evening. We are so glad that you took the time to commune with us. Hello, fellowship with us. So let me introduce myself. I am Nishika Melton, and I am your simplified productivity coach. And what that means is I help you, whether you are an entrepreneur, executive, career-oriented person, I help you get from vision to completion with the strategies and the implementation that you need to live in and walk in the success that you know you want to have. So shout out to Greensboro, always the first to chime in. Hello. Glad to have everyone on. And as you all are coming in, even when you watch on the replay, make sure you put your city and state in and just put replay so that I know where you're chiming in from. And if you have not, hit that subscribe and notification buttons. You see how if you're watching, you see I got it on the screen to remind you throughout. Hit the subscribe button and then hit the notification button so that whenever I go live, you get notified. Now, tonight, y'all, we are about to have a serious, fun, enlightening conversation. The lady that I'm going to bring to the stage, Dr. Myava Clark, she has made it literally her life's mission to help not only children who have learning differences, but also parents of children. If you're a guardian, if you're a grandparent or an auntie, she can help you. Because at one time when a person had learning differences, you were immediately labeled as slow. It was assumed that you could not learn. And we know that is a straight up lie. It was assumed that you could not function in what's considered regular society. And even the people who consider themselves regular, cray, you know what I'm saying? Look, I ain't talking about nobody. I'm just saying what I'm saying. And so she has made it her mission to help children and families who have individuals with learning differences. Why? Because she is a parent of children with learning differences. So she has sat in your seat, walked in your shoes, felt your frustration, cried out to God on the mini. What's going on? Why me? Hey, God, are you listening? Hey, tapping, is this thing on, God? All of those things. And y'all know I ask the questions because I'm nosy. I'm nosy. So we're going to get in it. And if you've got somebody in your life who has struggled, maybe they're an adult right now, and they struggled with learning differences, this could be a healing moment for them. Or if you know someone who has children, start tagging people and let them know, get on the mic drop, because we are about to have a real conversation So, ladies and gentlemen, let me say, boys and girls, let me bring to the stage. And look, doctor, she has an academic doctorate, Dr. Myava Clark. What is How
Hello,
are you
hello,
doing?
hello. I am well and so thankful to be here. How are you?
I am fabulous, trying to stay warm in this crazy January weather that we're having here in North Carolina. So I gave kind of a mini introduction, but I know I cannot do you justice. So I'm
Mhm.
gonna let you introduce yourself.
Well, as you stated, my name is Dr. Myava Clark, and I am a parent empowerment child safety advocate. And I help parents and caregivers of neurodivergent children by with practical tools and emotional support without burning out while they guide their children toward meaningful friendships where their children are truly celebrated for who they are and not just tolerated, all while preventing their children from being bullied. Neurodivergent refers to the way an individual brain behaves, processes information, or learns differently than that which is considered normal or neurotypical. And yes, you said it. I have two children that are considered neurodivergent. And neurodivergent is just an umbrella term for things like ADHD, autism, dyslexia. It's just a umbrella term that encompasses so many different things that the brain just works differently. And yes, go ahead.
So, thank you, first of all, for explaining the term neurodivergent because you saved me a question. We are hearing that term more often. And even though we're hearing it a lot, it doesn't mean that we fully understand what the term means. So, it's an umbrella. If
It's just an
you
umbrella term.
don't function, and I hate that word normal because normal just means you blend in and can't nobody tell that you there. But if you don't function the way they think you should, autism, dyslexia, ADHD, all those things, then you're considered neurodivergent.
Yes, and think of it this way: when we were coming up, we heard special ed. You
Mm-hmm.
know, they just in special education or learning disabilities. Now, neurodivergent doesn't just mean learning; it's just anything that's
Okay.
different. And I think the reason why they chose this term, and it took me a while to get acclimated and embrace the term too, because it was new,
Right.
right? But as I learn more about it, the more I embrace the term because it really isn't a negative term, it's a generic term.
Mm.
And what when the term came about, what she wanted you to focus more on is a person's ability instead of a disability. So instead of looking at the child or the person as being different, look at what they do well or look at their strengths as opposed to anything else. So it was created more of a from a positive perspective to embrace as an endearing or embracing term.
So you said something in your introduction. You used a word that just when you said it, it grabbed me. That word tolerated.
Mm.
And nobody wants to be tolerated. That does something to you when you know that you are being tolerated. What was that like as a parent? Did you ever feel like your children were just being tolerated?
Yes, and let me explain the two the differences in my children. I have two children. My son is 28 now, and my daughter is 26. My son had learning differences and he struggled, and emotionally and socially he was probably about 2 years behind his peers. He had what they deemed as normal intellect, but he had struggles. He needed speech therapy, he needed occupational therapy, he needed physical therapy, and he stuttered. So it took him he can get there, but it took him he was a little slower processor, right?
Mhm.
But guess what? I had to tell him, so is his mother. I was actually a slower processor. um when we were kids, if people would argue, I wasn't really quick with the tongue. I wasn't sharp. I couldn't. Now, when you're not good with the tongue, you have to be good with the hands. so,
Come on, girl.
so
Yes,
I
honey.
was good with the hands, so I didn't have to talk a lot, and I kept people off of me. But my point is that wasn't anything to do with my intellect.
Right.
I just had to think things through before I respond. And still now, sometimes uh, um, it takes me a little longer to think something through, but I have it. I just process certain things a little more slowly. Now, with my son, some of that could be genetic, right? Because I
Okay.
was like that, right? But then you add on other things to it. You add on the emotional immaturity, you add on the stutter, you add on, so then it sets him even further behind in a conversation with his peers when he was
Mhm.
younger, you know. And so we dealt with that with him. And then my daughter on the other, okay, my son, we didn't even know if he would be able to talk because he wasn't talking, and we were teaching him sign language at
Wow.
2, right? But God bless, it was a speech therapist that determined what was wrong and found out what was wrong. And we went to all the docs, everything. Nobody knew. It was a speech therapist that noticed that his jaw muscles were underdeveloped. So when they started doing exercises to strengthen his jaw muscles, he was able to have full come into his own and have conversation. And um, when he was about 3 and a half, he started talking. 4, by the time he was 4, he was in complete conversation. So
Mm.
it just was a little slower, right? My daughter, on the other hand, said her first words, I believe it was 4 months. She was speaking in complete sentences at 11 months. So the tale of two, but she didn't start walking until she was 18 months. But
Wow.
my daughter was on the opposite end of the spectrum, where she was in gifted and AP classes and he was in learning support classes. But she has chronic medical challenges that pushed her into the 504 at school because she had medical conditions that we had to navigate and deal with. So I
Right.
dealt with both. I dealt with learning differences and medical challenges. So we had an IEP, which is an individualized education plan, and we had the 504 plan. So you name it, I pretty much experienced it and went through it. So I now forget your original question, but I just needed to explain those things to you. And I think I know you asked me something about tolerance. Okay.
Yes.
So my son, it broke my heart as a mom because he is the kindest, sweetest, most loyal person from a
Mm.
child even till now. He's a man and he's still that way. And he would want to be friends with people in school that didn't deserve his friendship because they weren't nice. They were mean to him. And it almost seemed like the meaner they were, the more he tried to be their friend because he wanted to convince them and show them how nice he was and
Oh,
how good of a friend he could be. And we were trying to teach him, no, you're worth more than that. They don't deserve
mhm.
you. They're not your friends. And it seemed like the more we tried, the harder he tried to convince them.
Wow.
And he actually put language to it. He wanted to be friends with the top dog. So if it was the captain of the football team or the captain of any team, he would go after them to be their friend. In his little mind, he thought that if he could convince them to be his friend, then everybody else would be his friend because of
Ah,
them. And so I understood it. I just didn't agree with it.
right.
And the more and my husband and I tried to convince him or to talk to him, he said to me one day, Mom, you have to be nice to me because you're my mom. And that broke my heart because I believed everything I was saying to him.
Mhm.
And at the time, I was searching for a teacher, for a counselor, for someone who would help me in this front, who would support me and trying to tell him his worth, his value,
Yeah.
and bring those things. And that person wasn't there.
Mm.
We never found that. And we wanted that support from the school. We wanted that because all he needed was other people to pour into him or another person to believe and to say those things because they were true.
Yeah.
They were absolutely true. But that's why I'm here to support parents to be that person for their child that I didn't have for my child.
Now we have a question that came in through the chat, and they wanna know, which I thank you because you saved me. What's a 504?
Okay. The IEP, Individualized Education Plan or Program, is for children with special ed or learning differences, and it protects them. Um, it gives them right. It's a legal document to make sure that they get their needs met, right?
Mhm.
And it's for your ADHD. It's for your autism. It's for my son had learning disabilities. Um, where he needed special supports in school, and that's what that is. So my daughter, on the other hand, was in academically gifted and advanced placement classes, and so she was good, but then she had chronic illness. And the 504 plan is protection for children that don't fall under special education, but they still need support. My daughter has chronic migraines. So in school, she may have may need it. For example, if she was getting a test,
Mhm.
if she developed a headache, then they had to give her extended time. That
Okay.
plan protected her. If she needed a drink of water, she was allowed to have a bottle of water on the desk when she took tests because she may have needed a drink. So if she was getting a headache, they had to give her breaks. May needed to get up and walk around or do something and come back to finish the test. So it was a protection in place to keep the so she didn't have to conform to the normal rules, which may have caused her to fail a test.
Right.
But with the tweaking and the support that she needed for the accommodation, it gave her a chance to complete the test and still demonstrate her ability and show what she was capable of doing. It kept it fair, it leveled the playing field.
So I hope y'all are taking notes because I've heard of an IEP with, school age children, IDP with with younger children, but I've never heard of a 504. So thank you for sharing and giving that distinction. And those of you that are listening, watching, and even listening to the replay, if you're thinking about people that you know who could be, their children could benefit from a 504, please do not gatekeep this information, please, because that parent is trying to figure out what they can do for their child. So, Dr. Maeva, your son is 28 now, your daughter is 26. Did they ever express to you, now that they're older, what it was like growing up as them?
Uh, hmm. Maybe not in those exact words.
Mhm.
Um, I think that my son, he's very vocal now because we do we have our business together. Uh,
Yes.
I I must say, I have before I answer that question, I have two of the most resilient, strong children in
Mm,
their own right. Resilient. My son went through ups and downs in school with navigating friendships, and
yeah.
that's why that's important to me to help parents to build the confidence in their children so they don't just accept friendships at any cost. They know their worth, they know their value, and my son, with all of his struggles. I remember I used to go on his school trips with him, and he loves this. He loves these stories. And it would impress all of us. When I say all of us, my husband, my and our parents, it would impress us at how we would look at things and think it was hard for him or whatever, but he loved life.
Mm,
He always wanted to go to school. He always wanted to go on a field trip. He was just so full of life. And that was such an encouragement because there were times I wish I could rewind the clock and just be his friend for a few minutes, do a little bit of damage, and then grow back up, but I couldn't.
yeah.
And in that, one of the difficult things for me was protecting that space in him and not telling him how I would have handled that situation,
Right.
and praying to say, God, where's the line? I don't want him to want to be friends at any cost, but then I don't want to tell him to just, well, if you just punch him in the face, it'll be over. You can't do that either. You can't do that either.
Right. That's frowned
So,
upon.
uh, but I'm being real with you
Yeah.
that in moments I had to wrestle with that and
Mm,
and find a way to support him without saying the latter, but to strengthen him and to have him rise up because I didn't want to take away who he was at the core and the quality of person that he was.
mhm.
And so I said that part to say that when he graduated high school, freshman year in college, and my husband asked him, what do you wish you had that you didn't have that could help kids today? And he wanted to come up with this business in his case in collaborative advancement for social and emotional needs. And it's to help kids to be safe online, and it's to protect kids that didn't have the village that he had growing up. And that's what we do, and we'll get into that later. But as you asked the question, would how do they talk about their past? This is his way of talking about it, giving back to
Okay.
other kids to support them, and as he says it, so they don't hit some of the pitfalls that he went through. He want to help
Right.
avoid that for them. And then my daughter, she's so resilient. My daughter, um, put it this way, she has been followed by four different services, medical teams growing up. In her senior year in high school, she missed like 29 days of school due to pain.
Mm,
She ended up with a condition that most people never even heard of called amplified musculoskeletal pain syndrome. And with that, the best way to describe it is if you have a person with a guitar and they strum a guitar, the guitar makes a sound, but
yes.
when you connect the guitar to an amplifier, it makes a really, really loud sound.
Yes.
And and that's what happened to her pain. She was experiencing real pain, but the way the doctor explained it is if a person sits on a tack, the 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 tack will hit their butt, a signal will go to their brain will register pain and say ouch and comes back down to the butt, right?
Right.
And then it's pain.
Right.
With a person with amps, they sit on a tack, the signal goes to the brain, the signal comes back down and it hits a glitch and it never goes back to the butt and it just goes round and round and round. So that's what makes it like an amplifier. So it's real pain, but it's amplified to mask as bigger pain than it actually is. And this child lived with that for a period of time until we were able to get her in the hospital. And she spent 3 weeks in the hospital for them to desensitize and deprogram her brain to get the signal back in line where it wasn't amplified anymore. So, yes, we had to deal with that. And the reason why I went through that with her is because my daughter is she never missed a beat in school. She spent 3 weeks in the hospital, got out. She got out on August the 12th, turned 18 on August the 17th, and started
Okay.
her freshman year in college on August 24th. She never missed a beat. She graduated in 4 years. This was in 2021 and May of 21, and she started her master's degree in August of 21.
Go ahead, daughter.
She graduated with her master's and now she's in a doctoral program.
She better go
Well,
ahead.
so that's what I'm saying. I have two phenomenal children that
Yes. Let me
overcame
give her an applause.
adversity.
Yeah. We're gonna give daughter.
Yeah, they both overcame adversity and they're still going. They're resilient. So I didn't have a short way to answer your question.
So let's shift gears because you mentioned the business that you and your son have, and I want to make sure everybody knows what Jason stands for. So can you give us each letter slowly so everyone can hear what the acronym actually stands for?
Collaborative advancement for social emotional needs. And
Collaborative advancement for social emotional needs. Got
yes,
it.
and how it came up is when my son wanted to develop an app to keep kids safe online.
Mm-hmm.
And he asked me to help him. I immediately said yes, but my background, I'm a respiratory therapy clinician for over 30 years. I went back to school. I have my master's in elementary education, but my PhD is in higher education and leadership and administration. I have a dual concentration.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know anything about tech. I didn't know what I was doing. I said yes, but I didn't know. And after I said yes, I prayed and I invited the Holy Spirit to help me. because I said, I told him yes, but I don't know what I'm doing. And I
Mm.
said, what is the gap in education? And he and I sat down he led me to the computer. I found the gap in education with social and emotional learning. And so I came up with the idea for social media to meet education. So I knew it was going to surround social and emotional learning. And I he is so amazing that he guided me. I told you I didn't know what I was doing. I
Correct.
He guided me through the internet. I found a third party company and I actually built an app for casing.
Mm.
And it was my participation but his guidance.
I know
And
that's right.
after Chris and I had developed this app, we took it to his school district and presented it to the superintendent of special ed. She loved the idea because I came up with it for a learning management system for special education. Like at the time, they
Mhm.
had Google Classroom for the mainstream students, and I figured this could be for special ed.
Mhm.
She said, Maeva, this is good, but I think it could be better. And she told me what it needed. I went back, made it, did what she did, said, came back
Mhm.
3 separate occasions until it outgrew that platform. Then we had to hire web designers. And what the Lord showed me was he said that initial app was to me what a sketch was to an architect. It
Wow.
was to show me that what he gave me was a real thing. And it was just a working model, just so I could see it and believe it and keep it in mind as a vision, even though it wasn't the final product.
So I want to highlight a couple of things here because I know we have people who are listening to this podcast right now and God is instructing you. You have heard it, you have felt it, you have heard it again of what you need to do and you saying, "But God, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't have any experience." Hello, hello, you can still do it. What did you call yourself, Dr. Maeva? A willing participant. You have to be willing to submit and he will guide you because like you said, you knew, and I mean the average person doesn't know how to build an app. And you built it, presented it to the school district, and you said y'all, even with all the tweaks, you outgrew the platform 3 times. So the need was definitely there. And I would go as far as to say it's needed in every single school district without a shadow of a doubt. And so now you have a whole website that people can tell us about your website.
I want to say one thing before I go there. I often felt like Abraham
Mhm,
that I was going to a land that God will show me because I had no idea where I was going and what I was doing. He just gave me a little bit at a time.
mhm.
And now what Case and Connect is, oh my gosh, I am
Y'all see her
so
light up. Did
proud
y'all
of
see her
this.
just light up?
I am so proud of Case and Connect because I didn't know where I was going and to see where
Mhm,
it is today and the beauty of it and to know and I say God chose me.
mhm,
He chose us. And I don't take that lightly because it could have been anyone,
mhm,
but he chose us. And I didn't always know in real time while I was going through what I was going through with my children. But he turned pain into passion and pain into purpose. And this is my passion now.
Yes.
This is my passion because it's bigger than me. It's bigger
Mm-hmm.
than us. I had to go through what I went through to understand the need, to
Mm-hmm.
get the desire to help, to to never want another parent, another caregiver, another child to be alone on their journey.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have the Lord first,
Mm-hmm.
I have my husband and my family, and there are times I still felt alone.
Wow.
And if I have all of that, where does the person stand that don't know the Lord or that don't have family support? Where are they?
Mm-hmm.
I want to be there for them. I want to hold their hand through this journey and walk with them. So back to Case and Connect. Case and Connect is a 5-week course that teaches children about bullying. It
Okay.
teaches them what bullying is, how to identify it, if they're witnessing bullying, or if they are in fact the bully. It teaches them how
Mm-hmm.
to report it. And all of this, what we're doing is building their confidence. We're building them up. We're building up their self worth and value to know how they should be treated, right? And that's just one lane. Another avenue that we did, because remember, it's education meets social media. So
Right.
this is designed like Facebook. It's designed like a Facebook, but I'm a college professor. I am a program director at a university. I'm a college professor. What I've done was mimic what I do with my online students. And I have that component built in here where I ask the children a question, a daily question, and they have to answer it. And then they respond not only to me, but they respond to each other. They have to
Love
pick
it.
two students that they respond to. So I'm teaching them how to communicate appropriately and responsibly online with adults and peers, all while teaching them the bullying information where they get a blurb every day, like a sentence that about bullying, and the next day they get a question about the information they had the previous day. They do that
Mm-hmm.
every day, and this is testing them to make sure they're comprehending and learning what it is we're trying to teach them.
So this is daily interaction for 5 weeks. And what I love what you said, whether you are being bullied or you are the bully. This
Right.
is a program that really, it sounds like any child could benefit from. They don't have to have learning differences.
No, they don't. Not at all. The only reason why I target that population, well, we started off, if you go to our website, you're going to see neurodivergent children 9 to 13. We had a couple focus groups, and the parents and teachers that were part of the focus group, they said 9 is too old. You really need to get to younger children. I
Okay.
heard them, and we have two groups, 6 to 8 and 9 to 13. It's the same content on two different skill levels because we want to supply and demand. We need to meet them where they are. And yes, it's for any child, but the reason why I liken it to the neurodivergent population, think of my son being 2 years behind emotionally. So
Hmm.
although he was 13, he was emotionally about 11.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And so if you have these kids, they're even more vulnerable to being um, wanting to be accepted by people. So I believe that they're at even higher risk of being lured or beguiled or tricked. And guess what? It You can go on YouTube and they'll support what I'm saying. There's a, a group they're calling the modern day terrorism. It's called 764. You can go on YouTube, Google them, look them up. And there is one video, I can't think of the young man's name. He was 13, and I don't know if he was autistic or what. You could see he had something going on and he was dealing with some mental health issues. And
Mhm.
his parents were saying that um, he really struggled after COVID, and he was playing a game called Discord, and apparently he was targeted by this group 764 on a gaming platform, and his parents didn't know. And um, unfortunately, they convinced him to take his life, and he was only 13
Mm.
years old. And that saddens me. Where could he have been if he would have had Kason to build
Yeah.
him up and to teach him not to be friends with people he didn't know in person online, you know? And then there's this other guy, Jamez Cartwright, who was autistic earlier this month in Philadelphia. Met someone online on a gaming platform. He's 18, and even though he's 18, I don't know emotionally what his age is,
Right.
but he was believed to have been kidnapped by an older man, and he was found 3,000 miles away in California. So that's the reason why I specifically say the Northern Virgin. But guess what? I wish this was around when my children were growing up. So they were in the beginning of really what social media is today.
Mhm.
It's so much more sophisticated now. The children have so much more available to them. And one of the things I say to parents, if you think your child isn't online just because you didn't give them a phone or a tablet, you may be mistaken, because if they have friends and classmates or older cousins, don't think for one
Mhm.
minute that they're not seeing it. The difference is you're not teaching them, and they're leaning on the understanding of their peers. And that's, I'm telling you, social media is not going anywhere. So instead of avoiding it, embrace it, but teach them how to do it responsibly.
Absolutely. So, Dr. Maeva, if we had some administrators or superintendents listening to this podcast right now, how would they be able to get in contact with you if they wanted Case and Connect in their district or even in their after school program? I mean, we have YMCA executive directors that may want it in their programs. How can they connect with you to get more information?
They can contact me by going to my website, casenllc.com. That's CASENLLC.com. And there's a contact us on there, or they can, and the easiest thing to do is to go through there and they can contact us, but it's support@casenllc.com is our email as well. We come out, we speak, we have case and outreach where we go into the community, we go into schools, We go to camps, we go to churches, we go anywhere that we're invited and we speak to the kids. And our message isn't one size fits all. We follow the flow of who needs us, and we tailor our presentation to fit their needs.
So is your son comfortable doing the presentations and speaking in front of people?
He's getting there, but we do it
Okay.
together. We do it we do it together. And when I tell you, he embraces his journey. He is learning to embrace his story. He has a powerful story. When he really understands and recognizes the power that he has, that God has given him, he's going to be a force to reckon with.
And I want to point out something too, for the parents, aunties, the grandparents, even the teachers. We used to worry about predators popping on Facebook and Instagram and all of that. Now they're coming through these online gaming platforms, and Discord is one of the largest gaming platforms in the world. So if you find or you hear that your child is on Discord, just pay attention. Pay attention. Pay attention. A lot of times when you hear online gaming platform, that's the one that they are referencing, because you can have private rooms in Discord that you have to have, password unlocked. It's created by the person and all this kind of stuff. So just really, really, really pay attention. Now, Dr. Ava, you know that we have a question at the end of our podcast. And the guest prior to you, oh, yes,
Before we go into the question, can I tell
mhm,
them about something that's coming up, or do you want me to say this after your question?
after the question,
Okay,
just don't
go ahead.
forget. So, what do you believe is the next move that God will make for you?
Ooh. Well, I believe the next move after, okay, with Kaysen, I
Mhm.
believe that this year we're going to go before the governor
Mm,
and the mayor of Philadelphia and present Kaysen to them, because I'm so strongly, believe so strongly in this and about this, that I believe that Kaysen is the answer to the dark web for our children.
absolutely.
I believe that God placed Kaysen here for his kingdom, for his children to move forward. And I'm going to get the testimonials, get the things together, and present Kaysen.
So we're
That's
all going to believe with you that you will get in front of many mayors and many governors to present this, because we do need a tool, a resource to counter, as you mentioned, the dark web. We need something that's going to come in and protect and restore our children 100%. So, what would be a question that you would leave for the next guest?
I would like to say, what is one thing you don't want your children or grandchildren to experience online?
Mm.
And are they prepared not to experience it? Have you taught them what they need to know not to allow that to happen?
Oh, wow. Okay. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Now, what do you have going on? What would you like to, because I put the website into the chat. So do you have any special events or programs or anything that you would like to share with our podcast audience?
Yes. So before I say what I talked about the dark side of social media. We must know that social media is good and it has good things to offer. For one thing, we're talking to each other right now. We
Mm-hmm.
connect with family, we connect with friends, we get a lot of education. Like social media has a lot of positive things for our children, and we want them to get to experience those positive things without falling prey or being victimized. Okay. So on my website, they can go under resources. I have a list of um, apps out there for parents. It's free. They can download to keep their
Hmm.
kids safe. There are a lot of apps out there already, but the parents aren't aware of them. They don't know where to go or what, and there's different ones. So you search them to see which one fit the needs of your family. And it's protections. Also, put privacy settings on your devices to keep your children safe. A lot of them don't know that. So, what I have coming up this Thursday, January the 29th at 6:30 p.m., I have a parent information session on Case and Connect and how you can get your children enrolled and involved in this 5-week course, and it only requires maybe 15 to 20 minutes a day for 5 days a week for 5 weeks. And and it may not take that long, but to protect your child, isn't your child
Mm-hmm.
worth it? Isn't your peace of mind worth it? And guess what? I teach the parents the same exact thing so they can further the conversation with their children. And I'm excited about that. And can I just say that my book, Help Support for Parents of Children with Learning and Thinking Differences to Feel Confident, Capable, and Fulfilled, is based on the first 25 years of my son's
Mm.
life and my journey with my
Wow.
son, because it's a guide. I really, really don't want anyone to feel alone on this journey. It's written from a parent perspective, but as an educator, I have over 100 references in this book where the parents can go, where I got the information and do a
Mhm.
deeper dive. I don't ever want anybody to feel alone. There's a glossary in this book of the terms that the parents can go to my website, print out the glossary, take it to IEP meetings with them. And if they
Wow.
don't know something, they can read it and look it up. And even if they don't have somebody next to them, they can have me with them and through this paperwork. And I told you I support parents. Here's
Yes.
another book, The Parent and Caregiver's Guide, Overcoming the Odds of Disabilities, Medical Challenges, Mental Health Disorders, and Trauma. This book is a book collaboration. I have 12 co-authors with me. The first 6 authors are parents telling their story. The second set of authors are professionals. We're all answering the same question. It's a guide, it's a support, it's resources in there to help support parents and caregivers on this journey. I'm telling you, if you connect with me, you never have to feel alone again. I even have a
Mm.
support group for parents and caregivers. We meet every first Tuesday of the month. It's free. I don't want you to be alone. I don't want you to feel alone. Let us be
Wow.
your community. Join us. 8 o'clock
Mhm.
Eastern via Zoom. There's no reason why you can't. Uh, the next meeting is Tuesday, February the 3rd at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And everything I'll give you, you put in your the notes for everything.
So I want to get, you said January 29th, Thursday at what time?
6:30 p.m. Eastern
So I'm going
Standard.
to put that into the chat, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that is the parent interest meeting, right?
Yeah, parent case and connect um and parent information session.
Okay. I'm
And
going
what
to
I'll
put
do
this
is
in the
put
chat.
the link in after we get off. I'll put the link in.
And so if you are curious, if you have questions, definitely join this Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, as far as your two books, are they able to purchase them on your website?
Yes.
Okay. So even
And they
if
get
the
an
books
autograph
don't
signed copy.
autograph signed copy, even if they don't apply to you personally, if you know somebody that you can bless with these books, go to the website and make the purchase and have it sent to them. They'll get an autograph signed copy, especially if you know a parent who has a child that has an IEP. You have a book that's got glossary terms. How many parents go into meetings and they don't really understand what's going on? And then you have a powerful resource that you can take with you in the meeting to know what's happening, to know how to navigate. And then the cherry on top, the support group where you're not going to be judged. The Zoom is full of individuals dealing with or have dealt with what you're going through. Is this every Tuesday or is it a
The
specific Tuesday?
first Tuesday of the month.
The first Tuesday of every month. Mark it in your calendar, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I've also put her email address, support@kaysenllc.com. You can also, play around on the website, get to know her, and then reach out. Reach out. Don't sit there alone. Don't sit there. I'm going to say it again. Don't sit there alone when you don't have to. Is there anything else that you would like to leave the audience with, Dr. Maeva?
Well, if they want my free ebook, they
You
can
know we
go.
like free, honey.
I have a free ebook, 5 Secrets to Emotionally Support Your Child with Learning Differences Without Burning Out.
Mm,
And they can go to mothersofexceptionalkids.com.
I'm putting that in. So I didn't put the full title, but y'all will get the gist and the website link, so that you can download it. And if you're dealing with someone who is a little bit stubborn or they're a little bit prideful and they're not going to go and download it, go ahead and download it for them and get them the information and get them Dr. Myava. You can tell them she's a very nice lady. She's not going to judge you. She's going to listen. She's walked in your shoes. All those things, and it will be 100% true. Dr. Myava, I thank you so much for being transparent with your journey and what you have experienced as a parent and the fight that you have said yes to. Because we know that even though God calls us, not everybody says yes. So salute to you for saying yes to this, because these children need you, the parents need you, and I would hope that each and every one of you will share this podcast, share it on your social media, so that those you may not talk to every day will know that there is a resource and a person that is out there fighting this battle with them and for them. So you all have a fantastic rest of your evening. Stay safe. Dr. Myava, it has truly been our pleasure to have you on tonight. Thank you so much.
And thank you so much for trusting me with your audience and for believing enough in me to have me on your show. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. All right, y'all. Take care.